Good morning, library friends. So glad to see you here all this morning. Today, I brought with me a book about one of my favorite kind of animals. And I brought it today because we are working with the YMCA on their Strong Challenge. Maybe some of your families are participating in the Strong Challenge too. And this week, one of the things that we're talking about is ways to be strong. Sometimes, in order to be strong, you have to relax, take things slow, and be mindful. And I thought, who does that? And I discovered somebody who does. This is called Are You a Snail? And it's by Judy Allen and Tudor Humphreys. We are hearing this courtesy of Kingfisher Books, which is a Macmillan imprint. Thanks for letting us share. Look at that snail. What do you notice about him? Yeah, I notice he's got these horns here. Maybe we'll find out what those are for. And he's got a shell with a swirl. We can't see quite all of the swirl on the front cover here. And here, he looks quite big, doesn't he? But then when we open the front cover, there he's just tiny. What do you think? Are you a snail? There he is again. Are you a snail? If you are, your life began in an egg, like one of these. A whole bed full of snail eggs here. They don't look like bird eggs, do they? They kind of look like tiny little mushrooms almost. Let's see, how many snails do we see here? I see 1, 2, 3, 4 snails. When you hatch, you looked like this. This is your mother. You are much smaller than your mother. You are very, very small, but you will grow. That actually sounds kind of like us, because when we're born, we're much smaller than our grown-ups, but we grow. What do you think? Are we snails? Maybe I've been a snail my whole life and I never knew it. You have 2 horns and 2 eyes on stalks. Oh, no, I don't have horns. Do you have horns? Do you have eyes on a stalk? My eyes are right here, behind my glasses. It says you can pull your eyes right down inside the stalks and into your head if you need to. That sounds kind of handy. You are slimy. You are very slimy. Well, now I know I'm not a snail, because I am not slimy. Are you slimy? I hope not. You have a shell with a beautiful pattern on it. Oh, it is pretty, isn't it? It's a big swirl. It starts off tiny and goes around and around and around and around. A big loop-de-loop of snail shell. You have no legs and only 1 foot, but it is a strong foot. The slime on your strong foot helps you slide along. There's his foot right here, and look, There's the slime, the slimy slime. Wherever you go, you leave a silvery, slimy trail. You like damp places. You like to be outside when it has rained. You have a big, rough tongue right inside your mouth. My tongue's a little rough. How about yours? Use it to rip pieces off of leaves and eat them. There he is. Snail is having a snack. So he's got a tongue just like us. If you're a snail, watch out for thrushes. Thrushes are dangerous. That's this kind of bird. They like to eat snails. They know how to break the shells off, and they don't mind the slime. If you're a snail, hide in the daytime. Go out at night when the thrushes are asleep. There he is. There's Mr. Snail being safe coming out at night. Also, look out for foxes. Foxes are dangerous. Hungry foxes eat snails, and they don't mind the slime either. Foxes go out at night, but you can't hide at night because you need to eat sometime. Just be careful. There they are. 1, 2, careful snails, peeking out and seeing that fox. Don't go where people go. You could get squashed. You move too slowly to get out of the way. People don't like you because you eat their plants. They might put poison or sharp gravel in the garden. It hurts to walk on gravel. Also, it sticks to your slime. And poison? Poison is poisonous. You may meet someone who looks like this. It is not a snail whose shell has fallen off. This is a slug. Look, he's got a slimy trail too. The winter cold makes you sleepy. Find a safe place. Your slime will harden into a door in your shell. Then the spring warmth will wake you. Dribble on the inside of your shell door, and it melts away. Then you can slime off and find some food. There we go. Here's the snail right now when it's fall. It's about to be winter. He's finding some place to hide and seal himself up inside of his shell. The word for that, when the snail seals himself up inside of the shell and builds a little door on the edge of it, is called estivate. I think that's kind of a fun word to say. Then he stays inside all winter, and then in spring, he comes out for some more food. However, if you look like this, or this, or this, or this, you are not a snail. Even though he's got a snail on his shirt, and this guy's got a snail on a leaf. You are a human child. You have no shell on your back. You have no horns, and your eyes are not on stalks. This kid has a backpack but it's not a shell. And let's see. No horns. That kid's eyes are not on stalks. And look at that kid's shadow. Does it look like a snail? It kind of does. With the swirly shell here. And you can just see his stalks, eyes on stalks here, and his strong foot. There's a real snail right here. You are not a snail, but you can do a lot of things that snails can't do. You are not afraid of thrushes or foxes. Most humans like you. Best of all, you are not in the least bit slimy. Checking out that snail. The back of the book here has all kinds of facts about snails. Did you know there are more than 60,000 different kinds of snails? This is a garden snail, but there are other kinds that live in deserts or swamps, in ponds and rivers, or in the sea. The giant African snail can grow very large. The biggest one ever found was almost 16 inches long and weighed 2 pounds. 16 inches long is about as long across as this book is. Can you imagine a snail that big? That would be a lot of slime. Snails belong to a family of creatures called gastropods, which means stomach foot. So you could say a snail is a stomach on foot. And there he goes, our friend Snail, sliming off. The end. Are You a Snail? By Judy Allen and Tudor Humphreys. If you liked that book about snails, I've got a couple more possibilities that you can request or pop into the library and Miss Jenna or myself will help you find. Like there's this one with fabulous photos called Snail, Snaily Snails. We've got Snails Are Just My Speed, which is kind of a cartoon book all about snails. We've got Snail, Where Are You? That's not a snail, is it? I think it's a tuba. But look, the same shape of the snail is hiding in that tuba, isn't it? And last but not least, we've got escargot, which is the French name for snails. So there's this book, which is the first one, and there's a second book called A Book for Escargot, where escargot explores the library and finds himself a book to read, but it doesn't turn out quite the way he expected it would. I did a reading of A Book for Escargot earlier on in the spring, and it's here on the YouTube channel, so you can have a look for that and pop into the library or put escargot on request. Then I think we are going to finish off today with a song about a snail. I have this teeny weeny little snail friend that we sometimes use as a hide and seek game in story time. So maybe you recognize our friend the snail. A lot of times he hides behind leaves when we play that game. But today I have an even bigger snail friend. Oh my, look at that swirly shell. There's his 2 eyes on stalks and his slimy foot. And I just made him out of coiled up strips of paper and a little pipe cleaner for his eyes. So this is something that you could probably make yourself at home with just a little bit of paper and glue or paper and tape. So we're going to sing a song with this big snail. I figured I needed something big because he needs to be able to sit on my knee. So our song goes like this. 2 little eyes, 1 and 2, 1 pretty shell, nice to meet you. He has no legs, just a tail. It's a snail, it's a snail, it's a snail. See, now this song is not getting it quite right, is it? Because it's not a tail, that's his foot. All right, now I'm going to move this back just a little so I can put my knees up, and we'll sing the second verse. Snail, snail, crawling on my knee. Snail, snail, he likes me. Snail, snail, crawling on my head. Snail, snail, time to go to bed. Oh! Snail just about fell off my head there, didn't he? It's a good thing this isn't a real snail. He would be making my hair super slimy. Oh my. I think let's try that second verse one more time and then we'll put Snail to bed, okay? Snail, snail, crawling on my knee. Snail, snail, he likes me. Snail, snail, crawling on my head. Snail, snail, time to go to bed. All right, time for Snail to rest a little. He's going to find someplace cozy to hibernate for the winter. He's going to seal himself up inside his shell and estivate. And then come spring, he'll come out and find some fresh new leaves to chew on. Good night, Snail. Have a good winter's hibernation. All right, thanks for joining us for story time. I hope you have a wonderful week, and do stop down to the library or put holds on any of these snail books if you like. And we will see you for story time next week. Goodbye, friends.